Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Predecessor livestream. I'm Steggs, part of the community team here at Meta Studios. And joining me today, we have two very, very special guests. On one side of me, I don't know which one because it's all mirrored, so I'll try and point. We have the wonderful game designer and Feng Mao extraordinaire, Demonde.
Hey, guys.
And on my other side, a man who needs no real introduction, but we'll give him one anyway. It's the Meta Studios CEO and founder and my personal hero. It's Robbie. Hey, guys. How are we doing?
Hey, doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm quite excited to jump into this stream. You know, we've got a lot of exciting things to talk about. You know, like everyone's been really, really busy with 1.2. And I think it's quite exciting that we're actually going to be giving people a first look here. You know, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. The team have been cooking pretty hard and really excited to show a few of the things that are coming.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. It's good. And hello, everyone else. Welcome. Should we see who we've got in the chat? Right, let's have a little look. There's a lot of people here, everyone. That's not scary at all. We have Stacks Red, say hello in the chat. Here we go. We've got, oh God, it's going so quick. Our dog, we've got the Posh Panda. That's a brilliant name. Terrific. I saw that one. We've got Rosemary White. We've got X Tim. We've got the Monkey Games. Oh my God, there's so many people. Lots and lots of lovely people. The chat's literally gone wild. Like, I don't think I've done that before to a chat that's just going absolutely crazy. I don't know if I can do that again. That was, you meant to reel off like at least 20 people. It just didn't work out, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Right. So what's this stream about? Well, I mean, I've kind of alluded to it already. It's pretty much all about what's coming up in 1.2 and a little bit beyond that as well. So it's a lot of exciting stuff. We're all quite happy to be here. And effectively you may have noticed if you go on our Reddit a lot that myself and some other members of the team have been a lot more active there over the past maybe month or so. And we've been doing things like Feedback Friday and generally just kind of trying to up the communication a little bit, like really up our game. And it's been really, really cool to see the response. And this stream is part of that as well. So it's really cool to be here. Thanks to all of you for joining us. So yeah, it's a little sneak peek at 1.2. What do you reckon, guys? Should we get into the first one?
Yeah, let's hop into it. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm not allowed. I've forgotten one thing. Sorry, I've forgotten one thing, everyone, and it's really, really important. I promise. It's we've got a giveaway to do. Come on, we've got a giveaway to do. We can't do it. We can't jump in yet. So we have, I think we have 5 codes for 500 platinum each. All you need to do to take part is put in the chat, ! Play Pred, one word, and you'll be in with a chance to win. At the end of the stream, we'll announce the winners, and we're going to have a really, really good time. Good. Right, I've done that. Let's actually jump in. So I've got a whole new OBS setup, and I'm really hoping this is going to work. I'm slightly scared it's going to go to a black screen, but it's fine. I'm a professional, so let's give it a go. It's Winterfest. That's the first thing we're talking about. Demonde, what's I mean, let's talk about last year's Winterfest first. Let's talk about last year.
For sure.
What did we do?
I believe last year's Winterfest, we had a reward track, 10 rewards, culminated in an Iggy skin, if I remember correctly. We had like no major changes. It was kind of lackluster. This year, we kind of went all the way. So we've got new map. We've got a larger reward track with 30 rewards. That includes like a skin variant, and a prime skin, which is like a kind of a different type of skin. It's the same thing as the Lumen Rampage Undertow skin, for people that are familiar. It's honestly just a huge overhaul from last year's Winterfest. I believe we also have a soundtrack, a new soundtrack for the main menu as well.
Oh, we do. You were telling me that sounds really, really cool as well, Demonde. You were like, can we put that as like the starting scene thing? And I was like, please don't make me do it just before the stream. But it is really cool, right? The
Yeah,
audio
that
guys have done a
great.
great job.
No, the sound team killed it with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty addictive. I think they did a great job. And then, as Demonde was saying, last year was still very early for the product, but I think this year the team have done a really great job. And we saw a lot of feedback from players that they wanted some things to grind. And so now we have 30 levels. It's much more like a battle pass, and so players can grind for free and paid rewards. And there's some cool stuff there, plus some new things that I think we're going to talk about later on in the stream. So won't spoil those, but there's some new things that you can grind in the battle pass.
I'm shocked you didn't leak that, Robbie.
I'm
I'm shocked. You did so. I'm genuinely so like you did well there. You did very well there. Yeah, it's really cool because I mean we pretty much just came out of the Halloween map as well, right? So I mean that was a big step up from last year because I don't think we did anything for Halloween last year, did we?
No, we didn't.
There you go. So automatic step up.
Even Christmas, right? We didn't do much for Christmas from what I remember. It was just we put the hats on the minions, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the hats on the minions were awesome. Yeah. Like that was really cool. Yeah, it's like Demonde said, we had that sort of like it was almost like a mini little battle pass. And then, this year it's a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger. It's really exciting. And you can see on the screen next to us, we've got some screenshots of the map, all work in progress stuff, which is another kind of cool thing about the stream, by the way. Everything that you're going to see is work in progress. So I mean, like Robbie, I'm surprised you didn't say anything about the fireflies things here, the butterflies, because I know you hate them being so bright, but they're not going to be that bright.
Well, I would like people to actually see the river bugs when they jump down, and we were in a playtest and they were like super bright as I jumped down, and I was like, I actually can't see the river bugs, and we're going to talk about the river bugs later, so they kind of become a little bit more important. And so I was like, we need to tone this down. But I think the cool thing about these streams is we can show people the work in progress stuff. Some of the stuff is at different stages. But I think the map is in a really good spot for the most part. But then other stuff is much more earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, for sure. The level design team has been absolutely killing it. Like going from Halloween to Winterfest like that within like 2 patches or 1 patch even. I believe like a full patch cycle is pretty crazy. But yeah, on the topic of the Firefly VFX, I actually thought that was like an ability that got cast that I didn't know about. I was like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, it's just map stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually haven't had the pleasure of experiencing them in game because they're fixed now. But it's looking really, really good. We did a playtest today. In fact, Demonde, you were in my playtest.
Yep.
And you were not Feng Mao. You were Crunch.
I was
shocked.
Today.
It was a good game. I enjoyed it. So yeah, that's Winterfest stuff. It's looking really, really cool. Like I'm really excited for people to just jump into the map. It's got like this, when you first get in, you kind of just get this kind of, I don't know, magical feel. It feels really, really fantasy being on a winter map, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah.
It feels cold, right? Like it does feel cold. I was I can't say anything because it leaked something, but yeah, I'm on my best behavior. But yeah, it definitely feels cold, and I think that along with the battle pass and the changes we've made, I think it all feels like a much more well put together package, which is something that we want to just deliver going forward. It's like these well put together releases. And I think this is kind of the first real example of us putting that all together. And I think people are going to really enjoy the changes. So yeah, I don't know if I saw some questions in chat about how you earn XP for the battle pass, and Demonde can just correct me if I'm wrong, but it's simply just by playing the game. Like you play matches, you earn XP.
Yep. The more you win, the more you earn, of course. You'll earn more for wins, less for losses. That's standard. But yeah, one last thing I wanted to say about the winter map is it definitely reminds me of home being Canadian. So
yeah, that's fair. Totally get that. I mean, like one of the things you were just saying, Robbie, about just sort of general, I guess, patch size. Like we've also just come from 1.1, which was also quite like still kind of big. It was still kind of a big patch, right?
Yeah.
You know, like it had a bunch of quality of life stuff in. I remember getting to the patch notes and being like, oh man, this is far bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah,
so,
but then this one is like this one is like way bigger. And I know we say it and people meme us like this is the biggest patch, but this is actually, I guess that's progression, right? Because your next one is bigger than your previous one, but this is actually the biggest patch. Like I was actually speaking to some personal friends of mine and I shared them like a list of the stuff coming. And I forgot like a bunch of things, and this was already so long. So I was like, this is actually pretty big. And I think we hit on a lot of things, and not only is it just big, but I think we hit on a lot of things that people have been asking for as well. I'm sure we'll talk about some of that stuff throughout the stream.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think that's probably a pretty good segue into what we want to talk about next. So let's come away from Winterfest. Here we go. And back to us, back to the lovely faces. So I don't think we could do a live stream without talking about ranked mode. You know, it's been in the game for a while. And I know the team have been working on a few things. So Demonde, do you want to sort of just take us through kind of what's been going on in the past few weeks / month, if you like?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to talk about ranked because that's my baby. So I care about it very much. So there's quite a lot to go over here. So what I will lead with is just get it out of the way, right now. We're not going to be splitting in 1.2. We'll be holding off on splitting until probably the launch of season 1, like full official season 1 ranked. What that means is there will be no like VP soft reset or hard reset until then. And that is because we want the full cast of supporting systems to be in ranked until we, or to actually do that split. So I'm going to go over kind of what those features are that we will be looking to add to ranked before actually doing a proper split. And then, but we have done a couple of things in 1.2 for ranked specifically. So we've removed the requirement to win a match to progress through a tier. So for example, if you're going from gold 3 to gold 2 and you're at 100 and something VP, you don't have to win a game. It will just automatically roll over. So if I'm 90 VP and I win and I gain 20, I will go straight to 10 VP at the next tier. So there's no more like requirement to win. The requirement to win still exists if you're going between like actual tier or actual ranks though. So like if I'm going from gold to platinum, you still will have to win that one promotional game. There's also a live updating ranked leaderboard in the client. And this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this should show your rank, your VP, the platform you play on, your name, and it might have support for your profile icon and banner in there as well. I'm not too sure on that one. It's still a little bit prototype, so I'm not sure. That, and we're adding a system where if players load into the game AFK, so either they didn't load, disconnected, just left, whatever, it will auto abort and not count the match, like the match will have never existed. So no win, no loss, doesn't appear on your record, it never happened. That being said, so those are things we're adding. So the things that we're looking to add for season 1 will be, so we're planning on doing a year-long season when we start that will have 4 splits. The period of which those splits will actually split is not yet determined, but there should be 4. And a split is defined by a length of time where you can climb the leaderboard, climb the ladder, progress through the ranks, and when that finishes, that will be the period of time that like denotes what rewards you'll get. And then there will be some type of soft reset to rank before the next split. So things we want to do are increasing the VP penalty for AFK players. So we all, understand and we recognize that AFK, like being AFK, is a huge problem in ranked, and we want to mitigate that as much as possible. So people going AFK will get hit with significant VP penalties for that. And also, if you're on the team with an AFK player and you lose that match, you're going to mitigate the amount of VP that you lose by some percentage. Furthermore, we want to add position swapping, hero swapping, and role swapping in draft. So that's all three things that you can choose between. So this is basically allowing you to select a player that you want to swap a role with. For example, jungle is the most important one, because once you're assigned jungle, you have hunt, right? So that means you're locked in. You can't just switch. This will allow you to switch that role, and then whoever accepted will now get the jungle role along with hunt and be able to actually play jungle. Swapping hero, same thing. Once two players have locked in a hero, should both players own both heroes, they can swap those heroes. And then same thing with position. So as long as a player has not picked, you can swap position with anyone who hasn't picked. We've got some more stuff here as well. So we want to increase the visibility of the ranked flare on the home screen. So currently the only way to view your ranked flare, which is the little gold circle or platinum circle with the amount of VP in it in your tier, is to actually click into the mode selection and then see it there. We want to add it like front and center. If you have ranked open, you see this thing there. It should be obvious to everybody when you're watching your screen, what rank you are, what VP you're at. So that's pretty exciting. We're going to introduce a second ban into ranked. We're going to be introducing a second ban into ranked. We believe we have enough heroes in the game now to do that. So both sides will be able to ban 2 heroes. This should work the same way as it does now. It will just take the top 2 voted heroes and ban them. A decay system. We're looking into adding a decay system at the high end. So whether this starts at high diamond or paragon, it's not really decided yet. But essentially the way this will work is the less you play the game at high rank, you will slowly bleed out like VP from your rank. And this is in order to keep the system essentially balanced. Like this means you won't be able to just get paragon and then stop playing. Like you have to play to maintain paragon if you want the rewards at the end of the season or end of the split. Region locking is another huge thing for season 1. We want players to be able to play across regions with their friends. So like if I'm in North America and I have some friends in Europe and I want to play with them, we don't want to restrict your ability to play with them. But the rank that you have will be locked to the server that you're playing on, or should be. This is the idea. So for example, I can be bronze 3 in Europe, but if I'm playing in North America, I can be platinum 1. Just depends on what region you're playing on. And lastly, pretty exciting, super unconfirmed, but something we'd really like to do is merge North America East and North America West into North America Central to essentially just improve matchmaking, player population, just everything for North America. And that will also really improve the ranked experience. And that is pretty much all I have to go over for ranked this time.
Awesome. I think, that was super comprehensive. I think just a few things on the leaderboard. I believe that will show the top 500 players, but it will also show where you are relative to them, so you can see how much you need to climb. And then eventually we'll look at expanding on that. But this is kind of just the first introduction, and a lot of what you mentioned is coming in season 1. But I think it's worth mentioning that swapping position, hero, and role in draft, the goal is to ship that way before season 1.
Yeah, makes sense. So, I mean, obviously the banning is pretty cool. I mean, I think everything that we've got cooking for it is pretty awesome. There's one thing I'm trying to remember what it was that I was like, I need to point this out again, but I can't remember what it was.
I missed something actually, Mark.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, placements. Totally forgot about that. This is something we also want for season 1. Is a placement system. The amount of games is undetermined yet, but in order to actually qualify for rank rewards, right, there should be a certain amount of games that you have to play that will then place you in a tier in a division. So, yeah.
That's also cool. Yeah, because we've seen that. That's very, very similar to what I was thinking, actually. Because, I mean, a lot of the feedback we got when we first put ranked out was about the lack of placements and about the tier up promos, right? So I think it's just another one of those things of like, you know, looking at community feedback and just kind of taking action on them. Just kind of highlighting it, you know, it's one of those things, you know, your feedback is always listened to. And yeah, you know, we're trying to get stuff in as fast as we can, sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, there's some really cool rank changes. I'm kind of sad. I'm never going to see myself on the leaderboard. Never, with only 500 people.
Well, you might in testing, right? When there's only 90 people at the company, I'd hope you'd be on that leaderboard.
I mean, I guess, yeah, maybe, but I feel like I'd probably be like 90th, and that'd just be really sad. You know, I don't know. I keep wanting, I keep asking like Import or Cynic to train me, but we've not been able to sort that out yet. I did have Alex Felton go through a replay with me once, and that was fun. That was a good experience.
Well, fortunately, you know a guy that designed the rank system, so if you're nice to him, maybe he'll hook you up. We'll
very
see.
True. It's very true. It's worth doing. Yeah, awesome. Do either of you have anything else to add on to the rank stuff before we move on?
No, I think that covers everything. There's some other stuff that we can maybe talk about later on as we get through the stream.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, cool. Let's see. I knew I was gonna mess this thing up. I was meant to put this on. Hold on, look. I was meant to do that. Just change the thing to say ranked mode. Didn't do it. I knew it. As soon as I set this up, I was like, I'm not going to remember to do it.
Chat was so confused. They're like, what were these guys talking about for 2 minutes? But now you made it clear. I'm sure they know it's ranked mode.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I'm going to have to take it off now because we're stopped talking about ranked mode. So that's fun. So next up, I don't know if chat remember, but I think it was like maybe just before 1.0, it must have been, that we were talking about the early access skins. And I wanted to give a little bit of an update on what's going on with them as soon as I find my actual notes on them. There you go. Right, I found them. Okay, so we put a poll out a little while ago asking people for input on how we can make good on our promise to make the exclusive EA skins available to everybody who played in early access. But there were people that also didn't have access to the early access bundles at the time. It's a lot of the word access there. So we put a poll out asking what people thought. We got some really, really good feedback. And effectively, a lot of the feedback was like, hey, why don't you do some variants of them? And we thought that was a really cool idea. So that is what we've done. And I'm going to show you some. I'm going to show you some right now. I'm delaying because I'm scared that the scene isn't going to work. There you go. I kind of blagged it. So these are some of the new early access bundles variants. They're very, very cool. They're very, very nice. And they will be available. I think we're aiming for 1.2x, but it's unsure at the moment. So that's the aim. Might not happen. We will confirm it at a later date. But I thought it'd be cool to show you some of the skins anyway, because I think they look really cool. Red Crunch, by the way, super favorite, and Blue Steel. Oh, I'm definitely playing the Blue Steel one. That's like, I'm a big fan. What guys' favorite of these?
I think the Red Crunch is pretty clean, to be honest. I really like that.
Yeah, this is going to be Red Crunch for me as well.
Yeah. I get it. Obviously, Chimera's got another Grux pelt, which it makes a lot of Grux pelts that Chimera has been collecting. And I'm not going to lie, as a Grux enjoyer, it kind of makes me a little bit sad. but it's fine. We won't hold it against him. So yeah, it was kind of just like a quick little heads up, if you like, that we haven't forgotten. We've been developing them, and they are coming soon. So exciting times. I keep losing all of my time. I know I'm kind of commentating on how badly I'm organizing this, by the way, and it's part of the experience, isn't it? So I lost chat for a second there. It's so many tabs open. So yeah, exciting times. We've got next up is a good one. Yeah, you guys know what's good. In 1.2, we're gonna move on. In 1.2, we have a few changes to some gameplay stuff, which is pretty exciting for me. Like when I was reading through all of this, I found it very, very intriguing. So first up, there are some changes to buffs, right, Demonde?
Yes, sir. There are changes to buffs, specifically with river bugs. Yeah. So river bugs at 21 minutes will now evolve into bigger river bugs that do more damage to you, like actual damage. Now take actual damage to kill, so that you can't just one-shot them, and give a more significant buff. So I'll walk you through the 4 buffs that we've got. So the gray buff normally just gives movement speed, will now give an increased amount of out-of-combat movement speed as well. So before you were zooming, now you're going to be turbo zooming. We
love turbo zooming.
We got the pink bug, which before just gave you ability damage. Now it gives you more ability damage and ability haste. So you'll be throwing those abilities out even quicker. The green bug gives a shield, now gives more shield, and explodes when it is depleted. So like in a radius around you, it'll explode, dealing damage. And slow. It'll also slow when it explodes. And then the orange bug was attack speed, and now that adds Omnivamp on top of the attack speed. So you'll be healing as well with that bug.
I'm a big fan of these, by the way. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, like one of the thinking behind this was the river bugs get pretty boring, like 20 plus minutes into the game. So when at least when I play as a mid lane, I'm often contesting these buffs, but there's a point in time where I'm like, I don't really need to go for these things anymore. And so one of the things that I spoke to the designers was like, what if we just made them evolve as the game progresses? And I think this is a really interesting change to make it feel like these are something that you don't always have to get them, and they're not going to define the game, but there's something nice that you can get that kind of evolve as you power up. The game and the map around you is powering up as well. And so I think it's a really cool change that the team have done. And yeah, excited to see what people think when they play it. Because I think it's really cool because you can add more power into them the later the game goes. You can also like, who I give this to might matter more. Like if I want a hero that's like an assassin to run someone down with the move speed buff, that's great. Or if I want, more attack speed or the Omnivamp on my carry, I think that makes it way more exciting. So yeah, really excited to see what people think of this change.
I was taking these videos, and I was genuinely shocked at how chunky these bugs are. Like I was doing it with UI off, and I think it's showing here, right? I didn't know how much health I had. And then I just started to I wasn't killing the bug. And then I just started getting the red effect on my screen. I was like, this thing's going to kill me. Like, it was absolutely shocking. Also, question, Demonde. I don't know if you follow our Twitter, but we did put a tweet out a few months ago saying that one day we were going to make the river buffs fight back, and then you'll be sorry. I just want to find out, was it that tweet that made this happen?
I don't actually think it was that tweet that made this happen. Sorry to say. I don't actually use Twitter myself. But...
Yeah, I did find that super weird. But sorry, you carry on. I'll stop my my stupidness. You carry on with the buffs, because there's more.
Yeah, there is more. So when you actually kill a player with buffs on them, it will transfer to the player. Sorry, if you kill a player with buffs, then you will get their buffs. They will transfer over to you, and you'll be given like an allotted amount of time to hold that buff. So there should just be a lot more variance and a lot more buffs kind of floating around, because people can just kill each other and trade them around. So yeah, having all of these buffs in the game for longer should just add to match variance and make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more spicy. Game will be a little bit different. That, and kind of fitting under this category, we have empowered Orb Prime recall. So what that means is essentially you kill Orb Prime and then your recall speed doubles. The reason for this is you take this objective, you want to start pushing, but you probably want to spend the gold that you got from usually fighting the enemy team at Orb Prime, as that happens. So you recall and you spend your gold, get stronger, and then hop out on the map quicker and push. This is another reason for this is like, we found that in testing, players were not able to push like quite well enough without like getting back to base. You can get onto the map quicker, use the actual full duration of the Orb Prime buff.
Yeah, I think this one is really cool, because the VFX and the sound and all that stuff changes, so that's quite nice. But yeah, it's kind of what Demonde was saying. Often you play the game, you do Prime, and then you kind of have to go back to base, reset. It would just extend the game kind of unnecessarily. And I think now this just gives this nice feeling of like, I got all Prime and I can kind of continue the action, go back and get out really quickly. It shouldn't be like this massive thing that you've achieved in the game, one of the biggest objectives, and then it goes back all the way down. So I think this is really excited. And again, one of the changes I'm excited for people to see. In fact, I think it's like all these changes plus all the other stuff we're going to talk about just like massively changes up how the game is going to play. So yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, it really does. I wanted to touch on the sound effects and stuff like that as well for this recall, because they're so cool, and I'm absolutely gutted that I couldn't get a video of it. Like I did get one, but I realized as I was putting it into the stream program that I accidentally revealed the new hero in it. So
well,
couldn't do it.
I'm sure you can post it on Twitter, and chat wouldn't mind if you share it in coming days or weeks.
I mean, it's not like I've not accidentally leaked a hero before on TikTok.
That wasn't accidentally. We were testing the community, right? We were seeing.
Yeah, no, 100. It was totally. It was intentional. It was an intentional leak. 100%. Have we got any other buff change? That's the buff changes, isn't it? Yeah.
That's all the buff changes. So to recap, we've added evolving river bugs. So they'll now evolve at 21 minutes, I believe. And then buffs will now transfer on kill. And then when you kill Orb Prime, you will now be able to use your empowered recall. And I think that also applies to mini. So whoever kills the mini Prime will also be able to recall faster as well.
Yeah. Oh, and to be clear, Orb Prime will not transfer. That is a buff that doesn't transfer when you kill players with it.
Yeah, that's a good thing to point out. So the transferring ones, are they river buffs and red and blue?
I believe so, yeah.
Makes sense. Lovely. Yeah, I like it. I'm seeing chat being like, just do it. Just leak the new hero. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do it. It's I want to. I want to feel that power, but no, I can't do it. I just can't. What would Robbie say? I would leak it. So
I
know you would, Robbie. Oh, brilliant. Okay. Next up, we've got some changes to projectiles happening. Robbie, Demonde, which one of you would like to take this one?
I'm happy to start and then hand it to Demonde. I guess I can just speak on it from more of like a personal pain point, which probably a lot of people feel, and then I'll hand it to Demonde. So basically, one of the things that we wanted to do in the past, but didn't really have, because of the changes we had to make, we didn't really have much capacity, was the projectile speed. We always felt like you had to lean shots a lot, and it made it pretty difficult. So, and we noticed this, just as we were playing, and also a lot of feedback from players in terms of projectile feel, responsiveness. And so now we had a bit more capacity. We could really look at the projectiles. And so we bumped up the speed quite significantly. I think it might be like 3 times faster or something like that. So it's 3 times faster. It makes the projectile just feel way more responsive. And I think just from a feel point of view, you definitely notice the difference. So hoping that's going to help players, especially the range heroes, land their basic attacks much more frequently without feeling like they were on the target, but the target was moving, and because they didn't lead enough, they didn't land it. So I think this is going to be a really nice quality of life change.
Yeah, absolutely. This change also came from so there's a couple things, right? Sometimes you'll have people that play carry will know what I'm talking about. If you have a lane of minions that's running in a straight line, and you're 90 degrees perpendicular to that line, and you're aiming at a minion, you're not hitting it. And it's that's kind of not okay. So we wanted to move the skill from predicting where things are going to be into just aiming at the thing you want to hit, which is probably the better form of skill expression for players that are sending out a lot of basic attacks. And yes, it is 3x the speed. You're correct on that as well.
Yeah. I think one, it's it doesn't, if you can't aim already, you're probably still going to miss, right? That's the key thing. We didn't want to make it auto aim. So if you can't aim, you're still going to miss. It now really solves those cases where you were clearly aiming at someone, you shot, and then you didn't hit them even though you're clearly aiming at them. This isn't going to solve for people who just can't aim. And also this is on projectiles as well. So it's not just basic attacks. We sped up some other projectiles as well, just to make sure they didn't feel too slow relative to basic attacks. So we have adjusted that, and we'll share more details of all the adjustments we made in the patch notes. But it's projectiles, not just basic attacks, that got changed.
So to clarify, Robbie, I still won't be able to hit a target. This won't fix that.
We tried, but
yeah, I mean, I've been requesting it for months, but it's fine if you want to go that way.
You requested lock-on auto attacks. We just increased projectile speed. So
yeah, I want every ability to be like Moragesh's.
See, chat, there are people in the world who want lock-on everything.
Let me just set your rank to bronze 3 real quick.
Probably be an improvement on mine, Demonde, to be honest, man. It's it's fine. But look, Muragesh is fun. And I'm not going to take it back. So I'm waiting for people to get upset with me. There you go. Steggs, #1 player in my heart there. See? Yeah, well, do you know, we've been talking about I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, sorry. We've been talking about what other streams we want to do, and one of the issues that we've got is that we're a remote studio, so we're sort of getting feeds in from different places all over the world, and it's quite difficult to get gameplay from somebody else into my feed. So if we did a live stream where we were sort of doing a devs versus the community night, which is something I really want to do, by the way, you'd have to watch me play. And I feel like you'd just be on the respawn screen all the time, especially
all the people calling this projectile change broken, watching you play will definitely think it's not broken. So we might be doing ourselves a favor.
Wow.
But I will say on that note, I think we're going to monitor this change pretty closely as well. So we'll be looking at players' feedback. The goal is to put it out into your hands kind of as quickly as possible, see what you guys think, and then we'll kind of iterate it and adjust it based on community feedback.
Yeah, I like it. Somebody hold back CEO Paul Steggs. Yeah, somebody came on and I just get roasted. This is what I get for having Robbie on a stream. Okay, so up next, we have some, I guess, I'm going to say some smaller adjustments to the map. I think that's probably a good way to say it, right? Smaller adjustments to the map. So, Demonde, do you want to take us through what we've done while I try and make OBS do what I want it to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we've changed a couple of things. The goal of the changes to start off is just to open up the map and open up the skybox to basically allow better verticality in and around the pit areas. We noticed that these areas are heavily choked. Like it feels extremely claustrophobic, or it felt extremely claustrophobic to fight in these areas. So we kind of opened it up a bit. Two things being, we cut one of the walls in half. So we basically made it a half wall, and this means it's way easier to, I mean, you can double jump over it, howitzer alt over it, throw your Gideon portal over there and allow your team to get in. And it just creates like a more open area that you can actually play around instead of these really tight chokes. And then the other thing was we basically just took out that raised ring inside of both of the pits. So the reason for this was, so before you have like Orb Primer Fangtooth that take up a massive amount of space in the middle that you can't stand in. And then you also can't stand in the ring on the outside if you're a melee hero. So if you're playing a melee hero, you don't really have any option to actually move and fight. You're kind of just stuck in one spot in this little ring. And it just makes for like lack of skill expression, essentially. Now that we've dropped this down, you can actually fight properly in the pit, and there is plenty of space to express skill, to outplay your opponent, to just have more fun. Is essentially what it is. And consequently, this also means that blink that you would try to do, where you blink over the back of the pit to get out, that fails like 50% of the time because it's really technical, is now doable like all the time, because you just press yourself up to the wall and go over. You don't have to try to like jump and then hit the perfect degree angle to get over. You go over.
Yep. Yeah. I think the pit change is probably like the biggest one, where, as you mentioned, Demonde, like the rings made the pit feel quite tight, but just removing those rings actually makes it feel like pretty massive now. Like there's actually way more space, even though it's like such a tiny change. It means that it just means that like now team fights feel like much more engaging because the space isn't as tight. So I think it's a really, really great change that the team made. And then also just lowering that wall and the plays that you can do that. It was really funny. We had a decker in the playtest, and we was like still work in progress on the wall, and the decker just like double jumped into the wall, but they couldn't go over it, and then we just killed her. So we made it like really easy to go over, but I think share feedback and kind of let us know what you think. And also, these are some of the small. There is another map change that we'll talk about later, but or maybe it's just after this. But these are just some small adjustments we want to make, and then in 2025 we want to make bigger changes. But what we're really hoping from here is that you guys play the game, give it a couple matches, and then share your feedback with us, so we know that, hey, we're moving in the right direction. That way, when we make the other changes that we want to make, we kind of know like, okay, the community really like these sorts of changes, and that's the right direction to be heading towards. So yeah, I think it definitely changes how the pits play. And then with this other change we're going to talk about next, I think it just switches up the game a lot. It makes it quite interesting.
That's it. I mean, yeah, I mean, you've segued it really, really nicely. So I'm hoping we're done with this bit. Otherwise, we're gonna have to find a new segue, which I've already ruined a little bit. But the next thing we want to talk about, I think, is probably, I think it's the biggest shakeup, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm really intrigued at how people are gonna react to this one. I've got a video that I'm just gonna play. So we're not gonna be on screen. You're just gonna see a video. It's not a trailer. It's not anything like that. Just a video. And we're just gonna watch the chat and see what happens. All right. So we'll be back in a minute. You watch this video. I'm back. There you go.
So yeah, you can now teleport across the map. It's one of the changes that I think I really enjoyed a lot. It kind of didn't play out how I initially thought it would. It plays out very differently, and so I think people need to definitely try it to see how it works, because it doesn't play out the exact way you would typically expect. But I think the really cool part that we added was, initially when you teleported, we didn't let you teleport across the map, like you just went from one side to the other, but now you go off across the entire map, and you can see it from like, you know, the top view. So I think it's really exciting. We also added things to try to keep it balanced as possible, and so you can't use the teleporters for the first 10 minutes, I believe. There's also a cooldown on it, and so I think it made some really interesting plays. I actually wanted them to be sooner, but I don't think that would create a great laning experience. But it just created a lot of really fun moments in playtesting. And I think the really interesting thing was, when we initially told people about it, I think people were quite skeptical that it'd be a good change. But then when people played it, they felt like completely different. And I think a lot of people really enjoyed it. So again, this is a similar change to the projectiles, where we'll just monitor player feedback and see how it goes. The really funny thing is, like, you can follow people across on the teleporter, like you can teleport after them. And we were playing a match where these, you know, we were losing lane, but we were losing base, and like my carry and the other enemy carry were just going from one teleporter to the next. Oh, there's a cooldown, so you can't use it right after each other. But I was like, dude, come back to base. And they're just like running towards the teleporter. I'm like, it gets addictive when you're flying that high. You kind of want to hit that dopamine again. So yeah, really cool change. I think it definitely changes the game quite dramatically.
Yeah, for sure. No, it definitely does. As Robbie was saying, like it creates really dynamic moments. And again, I think when we put this in the game, everybody was just kind of like, what's this going to be like? And then we put it in and we're like, no, this is really fun. Like, it's actually just fun. Essentially, like there was a moment where I was playing with them in a playtest where we were posturing around Orb Prime. There's like 5 of my team and like 3 of the enemy team were posturing around Orb Prime, and we would start Prime, and then the enemy support and carry were split pushing, and they would like run towards the teleporter, and we had vision of that, so we could see. So we had to pull off of Prime, because then we would have just got collapsed on, because they would have just shown up on the other side of the map, and then everybody would have, you know, collapsed on us. We would have lost. So this really weird cat and mouse game where like we would start Orb Prime, and then they would run back to the teleporter. We would pull off, and they'd run back to the wave. So we didn't really know what to do. And then I think I told our tankiest member, I think we had like a steal offlane or something, and I was just like, all right, they don't have vision, so all they're going to know is that we started Prime. They're not going to know who's on it. So I had Steel start the Prime, and then we all 4 ran to the teleporter. And then we, like, Steel kept doing Prime. They took the teleporter, and then we just ganked them as soon as they came in, killed them, and then we were able to get back onto the Prime, actually do Prime and take it. So it's just like a fun mind game outplay moment that would only happen if you're able to transfer across the map. Like,
yeah.
Go on, Robbie. Go on.
I think it's really like it definitely changes the way you play, and I think I had a lot of fun with it. I think we also did balance it out. So like the cooldown is individual. I believe also when you're on the teleporters, everyone can see that you're teleporting, or everyone can see you on the teleporter. So that's like global vision. There's also global sound, so you can hear people if they're taking the teleporter or coming across. So there's a lot of things that help balance it out. But yeah, I think it's super interesting and definitely is going to shake the game up quite a bit.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm looking at the chat now, and it's exactly what I thought. It's like there's some people that are like, whoa, this is really cool, and some people that are like, oh my god, what have you done? But like it's like Robbie said, a lot of us were skeptical. I really was. I think even after I played quite an early version, and even after that I was kind of like, oh, I don't know, man. Like I think my whole thing was like, I just keep getting ganked. Like, I'm not a great player, right? I'm not a Robbie, and I'm not a Demonde. But those things were kind of, because that was so early on, and we were able to just kind of give feedback on that. Those things got ironed out quite well. So, like Robbie said, you've got the vision on the teleporter, so you still need a lot of map awareness, but you kind of need that anyway. And I think it does really add a new level to the game. It took me probably 2 matches to be like, this is sick. Like towards the end of the second match, I was like, man, we're doing some really, really cool plays with these teleporters. Like it was really, really good fun. So yeah. I definitely encourage you, like absolutely share your feedback. Let us know what you're thinking already. And then give it a go, give it a few games. Let us know what you think again. Maybe this is something that we can do for like one of the Feedback Friday mega threads, because we'd love to know about the other map changes as well. So yeah, I totally get it, but it was really cool. It was really cool.
And it's the exact same, right? We just want your feedback. Let us know what you think about it. We set the time that they activate to be like after we think the laning phase is over, so it's not too disruptive. But yeah, share feedback. Let us know what you think. We're always, I think we just want to try bigger things and be bolder with those changes. And this is an example of one of them. And we'll be monitoring this one pretty closely. And we'll make changes accordingly. Like a lot of the stuff we built is very tunable. So not too worried, but we do the Feedback Friday threads. I'm pretty sure teleporters is going to be one of them.
Yeah, I can pretty much guarantee it. I see Pandemic 87 just said solo lane is no longer an island, and I feel that. I'm an offlaner, and it's really nice being able to just nip over to duo and do a little gank there.
Someone asked how it works with Wraith ult, and I have this really funny clip, but I can't show it because it's the new hero. But basically, someone teleported across the map, and then I think it was Reese rewound them, and because you go back 4 seconds, they got teleported back to the top of the middle of the map and then just fell down. And it was pretty hilarious. And then I was thinking maybe we should add like fall damage if you're that high. Yeah. You just splat to the ground.
I love it. What do we think? Full damage, chat? Are we happy with full damage? We could show it. I've been very, very strict. I've been told very strictly for this stream, do not reveal the new hero, Steggs. You are not allowed to reveal the new hero. We need to reveal it next week. So we're doing what we're told. Okay. We're being good. But we're revealing loads of other stuff. It's all good. Look at all of these changes.
Yeah, there's still a few more things.
There are still a few more things. I'm also excited about the next one, to be honest. Corrector, I will allow it, Steggs. Okay. Gotcha. The next one is also a little bit just stupid fun. Yeah. Right. So yeah. I mean, we actually did a. I'm gonna bring it back to this. So we're not right. So we actually did a Feedback Friday last week. I think it was last, or maybe the week before on Brawl Mode. Right. And I just want to point out this change was done before we put that Feedback Friday out. But obviously Brawl Mode is something that is on our minds. It was very, very interesting to see what everybody thought about it. So I guess we just jump into the change, guys. What have we done? Robbie, you know what we've done. What have we done to Brawl Mode?
Yeah, well, basically we just wanted to make a short change and allow players to basically pick any hero regardless of anyone else is logged in. So you can have 5 Iggies, and we just want the game mode to be fun, a way for you guys to try crazy stuff. Some stuff may actually break, but we just thought it'd be a cool way to switch up the game mode. And I want to give a shout out to Lasha for putting this change in, because it wasn't part of the roadmap, but then I was like, I can't remember who I was talking to, but we came up, I think it was maybe one of our investors. It was like, it'd be cool if you could just pick any hero and you could have 5 of them. And then I asked Lasha if he would make the change, and he did it, even though it wasn't on the roadmap. So that was awesome. And I think it's just really fun. Like, you can now have like 10 Iggies playing a match, or 5 phases, or whatever it is. And I think it just adds like a bunch of variance to the game, and it's in a fun environment.
It is ridiculous. Like, it's as in ridiculous fun. Like just when I jumped in, we were doing 10 Iggies. Again, you're seeing my gameplay here, so don't be expecting anything like really good. Okay, it wasn't a great match for me. Okay, but it is utterly just chaos, and that's kind of what Brawl is for, right? It's meant to be stupid fun. Get away from the tactics and the strategy of Sanctuary. I was really trying to remember the map name, and just jump into something that's just a little bit of fun for 15 minutes or so. This was really, really silly and really, really fun.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys want to try to have a lot of fun with it, actually play some supports, all 5 supports. Play like all 5 Muriel, all 5 Narbash. You can't die. Play like all five phases, and everybody's just pulling each other everywhere. I think support is my personal favorite for absolute chaos.
Oh man, no. The first thing I thought of was 5 Iggies, but like really, 5 supports, 5 Narbash. Muriel's just flying all over.
Moragesh, where like you mark the person, but then like you can all ult, and I think it broke some stuff. I'm not sure, and then. And then like Muriel all, but yeah, I think it's really interesting the combinations you can get, and I think there's a lot of fun things people can do with it. But also, you don't have to pick the same 5 heroes, right? You can still just play Brawl as normal. So this is really just like if you just want to go have fun with your friends and like try something crazy, or just the people you meet in the draft, you can just go ahead and do that now. And also, the mode is supposed to be a place where you can just take the hero that you really wanted to play. So regardless of what other people have picked, you can just take what you want. So I think this adds a lot of fun, but it's also for other players who just want to play this particular hero to try it out. They can do that in Brawl as well now.
I never thought of that.
Absolutely. And something we actually didn't even touch on, but is in the video that's playing right now, is Brawl is also winterized as well. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. I actually was. I wasn't going to show a video of any of the winter map stuff, but I had to for that. So you get a sneak peek. It's kind of a leak. I knew it was going to happen, but I did forget. The Brawl map is also wintry as well. And it's very pretty. We like it. Yeah,
I actually just saw somebody in chat type about 5 Revenants. And it's like, this is interesting because you can all go enter the Death Realm together. It's very
dope. Yeah. I feel like we're going to have to try all of these on a stream. I like this idea. I'm going to have to start cooking more stream things up. I think that'd be good. Yeah. I've seen a couple of people being just sort of like, man, come on, guys, make a new game mode. But those things take time. This is a really nice sort of thing that we could do that we think will improve Brawl and make it just, again, more silly while we're cooking up other things, right? So, I'm a fan. We're almost coming to we've still got a few more things, actually, to be fair, haven't we? The next thing I wanted to touch on was toxicity. Hold on. Let me do the boom. There we go. So we put a blog out this week. In fact, it was this week, a toxicity report that went through a load of changes that are coming up in the future. And to be honest, I kind of just wanted to like have a little recap on some of that, and maybe just clarify 1 or 2 things. Like, Robbie, I know I saw you clarify something on Reddit about like, will the AFK like sort out people that are like running in a circle and stuff. So I figured we could just have a little kind of go over some of the toxicity stuff. But we do have to be careful, because we also don't want to give you too much info, because obviously we don't want people to know exactly
like,
how it works.
How does your AFK detection work?
Exactly. We got to tread carefully. So bear with us. Demonde, Robbie, Demonde, you're probably good to take this. Actually, you've worked on this feature, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I can talk about it a bit, and I'll let Robbie hop in, because it's quite a large topic, and as we said, we can't really explain the whole thing, because it's the point, right? You don't want people to abuse the system.
We'll keep it light. Yeah,
for sure. main thing is like AFK players. This is probably like the worst form of toxicity in terms of just destroying games for the other 9 people in the game. When you have an AFK player in a MOBA, you cannot play the game. This is how this works, right? So yeah, there's a system that will now better detect these people and take action against them. And you should actually get feedback now once this has happened. So like the game ends, there was somebody that was AFK. The system should now say like, hey, like we recognize that there was an AFK in this game. This person was punished, which is we feel like is like kind of the least we can do in terms of let you know that we are taking action against these players, and it's not okay. There are some other changes. I will let Robbie take those from here if he wants to.
So I actually don't know which change are coming specifically in this patch, so I'm worried I might leak some future stuff.
No, that's okay. They're kind of for the near future. That's what's planned at the moment. So like not necessarily 1.2, but soon, sort of thing. So there you go. I'll clarify that out the gate. There you go.
So I guess is that the AFKing and the automatic match penalty, or is that already coming in 1.2?
Yeah, that stuff is like coming soon.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll hand it back to Demonde because I actually don't know anything about that.
Yeah, okay. So if we're not talking about 1.2 and we're talking about what we're doing soon, then yeah. So we're making some changes to the AFK detection, so that if you come back and you've been flagged as AFK, you can be unflagged as AFK, right? Like we don't want to punish people if your internet goes out, your PC blue screens, like whatever. Yeah, we don't want to punish these players because like this happens. So let's say you AFK, you get flagged as AFK, you come back and you play really hard, and maybe you actually don't win, maybe you lose, but you try, and you made an effort to not be AFK. We want to recognize that and unflag you as AFK. So this is one of the things. Another thing that we want to change, or like will be possibly changing, is how surrendering works. So like there will be a timer. Or we're changing the cooldown to 5 minutes rather. I think this actually went out in the blog yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty much recapping it. Can I just interrupt a little bit here, Demonde? Because there is some people were a little bit confused, saying that the surrender timer is already 5 minutes, but it's actually dynamic, isn't it? Currently, the surrender timer.
Yeah, the current surrender timer. You can't surrender. Basically, you have to, at different parts of the games, there's different requirements to surrender the game currently.
Yeah. There you go. That's it. That's all I wanted to clarify. There we go.
But yeah, I think we can clarify all of this. This will all be clarified in the patch notes because there's some stuff that's coming, some stuff that's coming a little further out. But basically, kind of the long story short on it is, in this patch, we'll have better AFK detection. We'll have better feedback on the reports that you guys send, so you guys know that when you report someone that we will take action on it. And so these things are coming in 1.2, and then we're consistently working on more and more things for the future. But as with all the other features, just keep giving your feedback and we'll adjust these things accordingly.
Yeah, 100%. I think everybody can tell that we're like, God, we've got to be really, really careful here.
Yeah, don't say how we detect AFK detection.
We can't say it. The production team were like, don't say this. You can't do it. So we've been very, very careful, and I appreciate that. Everybody's patience. It's good. Like Robbie says, it's all about feedback, right? We're going to be changing systems as we go. So yeah, absolutely. Just send your feedback your way, our way, not your way. That wouldn't do anything. Our way. Right. Let's move swiftly on to a few quality of life changes.
Yeah.
That you told me about yesterday, Robbie.
Yeah, I did.
Didn't you? Yeah.
Well,
what we got?
So there's quite a lot of quality of life stuff in this patch, but let's just talk about the few that I've listed here. So a lot of players asked for buying skins and heroes in the draft, and I think also with the rank changes that are coming, where you can change your hero, I think that's going to be pretty important. So you can now buy skins and heroes in the draft. And that's been a highly requested feature from the community. I don't think there's much. We also made some improvements to the visuals of the draft, so it's just easier to navigate and easier to see the skins and all that kind of stuff. So there's some quality of life improvements to the draft there. And then, do you have the screenshots that I sent?
Yeah, I was gonna put them up, and then I was like, "Oh, he's not talking about it," so I quickly changed it.
Cool. So yeah, we can move on to the next one. So the next one is, a lot of people have been asking to spend amber on other things, and this will actually touch on another feature that we've added, because actually, I guess we leaked it in this extras tab before we got to the feature. But we now have overhead emotes as well. So we've added. We heard your feedback on some recalls and VFX. It was all bundled together, and we mentioned at the time we didn't have the capabilities to unpackage those. But now we've unpackaged those, so you can buy them separately. There's also stuff that you can buy with Amber, so you can buy sprays, overhead emotes, and other stuff with Amber as well, or you can just use Platinum if you wanted. And on top of that, we added overhead emotes. So now there's a spray wheel or a emote wheel or whatever, or some kind of wheel where you can add in emote sprays and all this stuff. And you can now spray on the wall, or you can use the overhead emotes. And you can use Amber to customize which sprays you want. So I think that's a pretty cool change that people asked for. And I think you guys are gonna kind of enjoy the new ways to express yourself.
I really like it. I really. You did talk about the emote wheel before I got the chance to put the emote wheel stuff. We do have videos for it. We do. And I feel like we might as well play them now. So let's do it. So what you're looking at the moment is like really early alpha footage, as you can probably tell. But again, it's I kind of like just showing the really work in progress stuff. And then in a minute it'll go to what it looks like, or what it looked like more recently. And I think there's still some other changes to put in there potentially, but yeah, it's really cool. Again, this was versus AIs, but I tried to be like, as how I would do it to a player. Like, when you see them, you're going to do your overhead emote. If you kill them, you're going to put your heart emote up or something. I don't know. That's how I would do it. How would you use them, Robbie?
Well, when we presented the idea, the goal was like, if you kill someone, we should automatically be able to trigger an emote that you set as your kill emote, or when you die, this emote automatically pops up. So that's kind of be version 2 of this. So that's how I kind of, because at the heat of the moment, I'm not the most expert gamer. Like, I forget to do things, and so I would like, if I kill someone, I just want the cool emote to pop up over my head without me having to think about it, so I can rub it in people's faces. So yeah, that's how I want to use it. But at the moment, we have a quick slot, which is the top slot. So currently, you press X to hold X to open your ping wheel. But if you tap X, it'll play the quick slot emote, which is the one at the top. So you don't have to think about which one. You just hit X anytime you want. So I think that's like a cool change that we added.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize that until this playtest. I accidentally pressed X, and then it made the heart eyes as somebody ran away from me. So it was kind of nice timing. I was going to say as I killed someone, but it didn't. Well, I didn't actually get a kill in that playtest.
Well, people asked about controller, so just want to quickly touch on that. This all fully functions on controller as well. And also the bottom slot is tied to your mastery. So that slot just automatically populates from the hero you're playing. If you have the mastery unlocked for it, you can just automatically use that one without having to select it.
Yeah, and as Robbie said, like version 2 of the feature, like we'd like to include support for like conditions, right? So like win game, ace the enemy team, pentakill, like whatever, you can select what emotes you want to autoplay when you have these conditions happen in the game.
Yeah, it also says here that you earn emotes from leveling up, like overhead emotes. So players get a bunch of them for free by default.
Yeah. Just a note on that though, that those rewards won't be delivered in 1.2. Those rewards will be delivered like a bit later on. So if you're already level, like the highest level for where we're rewarding these, you'll just have to wait a bit for these to come through.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, no, that's good. Have we got anything else on the emotes? I think it's pretty much there. I think we're pretty much there now.
Yeah, I think that's just a few of the quality of life. As you guys know, there's still like a lot more stuff that we haven't spoken about, but I'm sure you guys are gonna share that over the course of the coming weeks leading up to the patch. Well, it's kind of close, right? It's like 14 days away or so.
Yeah, I mean, we're a little bit early. It's again something we wanted to kind of try out just in terms of communication. Like, you know, usually we would probably start talking about a patch like the week before.
Yeah.
And in fact, we were planning to do this stream last week, weren't we? And I had to cancel it and move it to this week. It's my fault. But, you know, we were trying to do it like 3 weeks out. So, yeah, you know, it's just, again, trying to get some better communication out there and start communicating early about these kinds of patches. Like I really like it. It's good.
Yeah, I think it's also great to see people react to the features and then hear like the live feedback from people. And so hopefully people enjoyed like all the stuff we shared, and then there's still more stuff. Like we didn't even talk about the new main menu. Like that one, yeah. So
I can't believe you leaked it.
Well, I think we may have mentioned it in a Discord post. I feel like that one I should just share with everyone. Is we changed the visuals of the main menu because I felt like the current one is pretty dark and depressing, but this one is now an environment, and then also the battle pass has its kind of own environment, which is really cool. I know you guys have seen that. So the skin is really nice as well. And then also just wanted to touch on the PlayStation stuff, the 120 FPS, mouse and keyboard, and one other thing that was a part of that.
Trophies,
yeah, that'll all come in 1.2 as well. So this is going to be a pretty big patch, and super excited for you guys to try it out. And there's more, right? So we didn't even talk about more stuff we added. So yeah,
no, there is more. Like we didn't want to reveal everything.
Yeah,
you know, we kind of want to leave some things for, you know, you to discover in patch notes, or, you know, us to show you on social media and stuff. So, you know, if you're not following us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, there you go, I didn't forget one, then you should be. We'll be revealing stuff, or join the Discord as well. The Discord is always a good place to be. But yeah, I think that's...
There is one more ranked thing that I forgot to mention. It's not huge.
Okay, go on.
For season 1, yeah, something that we would like to have, but I forgot to mention, was having an intent phase before the ban phase, so you can actually show what you want to play, so people don't ban your hero. That's like
that's good. Yeah, I've had it quite a few, especially at the start. If I ever wanted to play Grux, always got banned. Yeah, so that's good. That's good. I like this. Yeah, man. Well, look. This is that's pretty much all we've got to share. That is that's going to be it for the stream. I feel a little bit sad. I've quite enjoyed this one. It's been really, really nice having you two on. Thanks so much. You made me feel not lonely while streaming, and your insight was like just. I love it. I love it. We should do this again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, are you guys down for doing it again, or never again? Did you enjoy it enough?
I mean, hey, if chat want us to do more live streams, we'll do more live streams.
Chat,
right?
You want us to do more live streams? Should we do more? See, I saw one though.
Oh my gosh, this is the last stream, guys. It was lovely.
Oh man, everybody had to say yes. That sucks. That's
no.
bummer.
One guy ruined it. Damn it.
All right. On a serious note, thank you all so much for watching. Robbie, Demonde, thank you. It's been a pleasure having you, and I'm sure that we'll see you again in another live stream. I believe we are planning another one soon. I don't know the full details yet, but I can imagine that it's probably going to be one where we're playing against you. That's my plan. Don't know if it'll work out. Hopefully it does. We'll let you know. But in the meantime, have a wonderful day, evening, night, wherever you are, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Later, guys.